Welcome, everybody. Wonderful. Happy Saturday to everybody from wherever you are calling in from. We love to do our Saturday calls. It's so important when you're building the Zinzino business to both get information about our products and our business and our comp plan. And so I try to pick out different people that we really can get some information from. And this week, I'm really excited to have on one of our scientific advisors. Now, these are some of the people behind the scenes, and you don't always know, what is their background and how did they find Zinzino and what is the future bringing for them? So this time we're going to have on, I'm going to try to pronounce this, Dr. Abraham, Anantharak Abraham. So Dr. Abraham, welcome to the call. I'm so appreciative that you are on here, taking time out here while you're in the United States. Hello, Dr. Abraham.
Hi, Carla. Hi, everyone.
Dr. Abraham, you have been, most of our scientists that we hear from, Dr. Paul, Dr. Colin, they're scientists, but you're a doctor of a totally other profession. You're actually a general practitioner. You studied medicine. You've been out working as a doctor for many years.
That's correct, Carla. I qualified about 50 years ago, 73. And I've been working as a GP in Malaysia, where I'm stationed all these years. During that period, I've had an association with nutrition companies for about 35 years. By the way, I also served the army for 2 years in between. So I've been in various situations.
So you've been doing all kinds of things. You've been this doctor, working with patient, doing different things, but there was something that happened to where you started looking at the nutritional aspects. And actually, it kind of hits home because most people, if you haven't heard my story, my son changed when I took his test in Zinzino, and he started using the Zinzino products. And that's what got me really excited. But Dr. Abraham, you had kind of the same kind of experience with your daughter, and you started looking into nutrition then too. Could you tell us a little bit about that?
That's right. Thank you, Carla. At the moment, I'm visiting my daughter in the US, and I'm in Sacramento at the moment. And this second daughter is the one who had some problems. She was about 6, 7 or so, and she had nasal blockage, some kind of allergy, and leads on to nasal blockage. And she used to wake up at night, say around 2 a.m., with a total block and coughing. And I couldn't do much because we had tried so much of medication. And I was working in the ENT department, which deals with this kind of a thing.
So wait a minute, we just have to say, so the medical doctor working in the ENT department is at wit's ends about helping his own daughter. And
that's right.
You're the expert of the area. And so what did you do?
So I had to go through the full thing. Take it to the boss of the unit, who was a very senior specialist, let him have a look at her nose and throat and back of the nose, and there was nothing wrong. And so he gave some antihistamine, some sprays, which didn't help. Now, I must say that medical treatment helps a lot of people, but there are some people who are just resistant, and I just didn't know what to do. So asking around, sharing this problem with some colleagues, including non-medical people, and somebody said, why don't you see this so-and-so nutritionist in a nearby shopping complex? He had a small practice there. And after...
So wait, I want to hear what you think about that, because somebody recommended going to a nutritionist for you, and you're a doctor.
That's right. And as doctors, we do not deal with nutrition that much from a therapeutic point. Now, this is why it's amazing to have Dr. Paul Clayton with us. He went into nutrition from a therapeutic point. Okay, so at that time, this was 35 years ago, and nutrition. And I was thinking, is there anything to that? Anyway, I had no choice but to go and at least talk to this person. And I
that's
didn't take my,
because it's your daughter. So if it's something to do with the child, I know the same thing. You're going to do whatever you can. Okay. So you go
that's
to
right.
the nutritionist, and what do you hear?
Without my daughter, I thought I'll check it out first.
Mhm.
So I sat down with him and gave all the description of her symptoms, and he gave me a prescription: vitamin C, B complex, vitamin E, selenium. Said start off with this. I looked at the list and saw the dosages. I thought, oh my God, this is already too high for an adult. And here I'm talking about a 6-year-old girl. And I said, are you sure that this is okay? He took quite a bit of time to explain to me. He had a whole host of books from recognized authorities. And for each ingredient, he'll pull out a book and show me. It took a while, I would say close to 2 hours. And that, in a way, that started off a personal friendship with that person. And I'm still close friends with him. So after looking at that, I said, well, okay, let me give it a try. But I wanted it to be limited. So I asked him, how long do I have to do this? When can I see some relief? So he was being conservative, I think. He said 3 weeks. And I thought, wow, that's pretty fast. 3 weeks. You'll get relief of all the symptoms, you know. Anyway, I took the products, went home, started it on her, and I was quite surprised. In a week's time, she was completely symptom-free. And I thought, whoa, is there something that I'm missing? That's what started me into nutrition from a therapeutic point. And of course, once I got into it, I realized that even so-called healthy people need to take some nutritional products. And this couple of years later, I was inducted to get into a local direct selling company marketing nutritional products.
So because of your daughter,
Uh-huh.
because of what it did for you, you started as a medical doctor realizing how much nutrition can make a difference
Difference, yeah.
therapeutically. Okay. So you actually started working with other direct sales companies that were doing nutritional things and
That's right.
making a difference with there.
That's right. And I got involved with a local company, a Malaysian company, which was doing that. After screening to make sure that the products were okay, they are not a fly-by-night company and so on. And, you know, companies are companies, commercial setups, nothing to do with the product. The administration, the shareholders tend to have some problems. These are small companies. And after a while, they split up. And I had to move to another company. So over the years, 35 years, I've gone through about 4, maybe 5 different companies.
But
I was
so you started looking into what these companies offered, and you wanted to have stable companies that were.
That's right.
Yeah.
This
Okay.
was an era where direct selling was very popular in Malaysia, and there were many, many companies. I do not want to name some of them. There was an invitation from them to join as a product trainer. I looked at their product, and I would say 2 out of 3 were exaggerating what they were providing. And I said, no, as a medical doctor, I can't, with all conscience, promote a product like this with claims of this nature. So I was lucky to be able to get companies with products that I believed in. Not many, so about 5 over the last 35 years. And the last company was VMA Life, which Zinzino bought over. I've been telling, by the way, Carla, this, I didn't mention this to you. I was asking this VMA Life, can we get a good fish oil, omega-3 fish oil anywhere?
You were
Because
talking with them about that before Zinzino?
that's right. Because we have a product here, as I mentioned, this one, now, which has got a number of things. And the main thing that was missing was omega-3. And I spoke to that company's production people and said, is it possible to incorporate omega-3? They said no, because when you add some oil to a particular product, you have to be very careful. The smell and the longevity of the product, expiry date shortens very fast. So they
Wow.
couldn't do it. Now
Okay,
it was
so,
a
so now you're working with this Malaysian company, Bima, and they were in Malaysia. You believed in them, and actually, this is the company that we heard back with the shareholders. All of us heard when Zinzino
bought,
took over and
yeah.
bought that company. Yes, they purchased that and kept one of their products, and actually got a lot of benefit from
Oh,
being
yes.
there to get there. But then that was a different thing, because you didn't just come in the package. You wanted to, you know, you, as you said, you were very conscious about making sure what kind of companies they were, and did you want to work with them? So when you started looking at Zinzino, what attracted you? Why did you say yes to going on and continuing with Zinzino?
Yeah. Two reasons, Carla. One was the product. Okay, there are omega-3s and there are omega-3s. When I looked at the product, it's liquid. Initial impression was, oh, this is going to be a disadvantage carrying it around when you're traveling. Okay. The second thing was when they came out with a test. In Malaysia, not all the products from Zinzino are available. Okay, so at one stage, it was only the oil. The test had to come a little later. And then when we started doing the tests and the results, I was amazed at the report, because I had a member who sent her blood to another lab overseas to check it out. The report came back a little different. The values were different. That's when I had to get into the reading of the values and why we read it that way. I was thinking, wow, this is a lot of value in the test, not just the levels, you see. So that was one. And it looked like it was not the only test, that the company was going ahead to develop other tests to see whether you're benefiting from the nutrition that you're taking. Something which the oldest one I can remember is Sheckley in the 1930s, and they gave up after a vitamin C test. Of course, things have improved. So that was one. And then the second thing was the team they had. Now, almost, oops. Sorry, give me a second.
You had a call. That's what happens when we're on lives. We get all kinds of things happening. That's okay.
I'll call you back, ma.
We love that.
The
And when you're traveling,
sorry.
yeah, I've actually
That's
had
right.
my dad call me twice since we've been on here too. So we've got that.
Sorry,
Okay,
sorry.
so
The yeah.
go
Yes,
ahead. Yeah, you
Scala.
said the test is one thing that's so unique to Zinzino, and you were looking at the test.
And next was the team that was involved, the scientific advisory board. Most large nutrition companies have some scientists advising them on a part-time basis, and whenever they have a problem mixing something, they will call them up and say, hey, this is the problem, what should we do? But here were people who are full-time employees, like Dr. Colin Robertson, Dr. Emily, and 4 others. Dr. Paul Clayton, of course, does other work too, but he's committed to this in a very big way. I said, retaining such top-notch people, forget the expensive part. There must be some foresight by the company to have gone in this line. Not many companies do this, okay? And we are also focused on the health. Many companies bring in experts. They go into many different areas and they have an array of products which get people offline. Here, we are focusing on building the health of a person from the ground up. Dr. Paul Clayton has a nice model on that. And getting ingredients that are proven to work. One. Number two was the quality of the products. All the natural. Now, I just give you one example. Vitamin C, all companies will tell you it's natural, but they're not. Because we can synthesize vitamin C in its natural form in the lab. And that's what most companies do. But here, even the vitamin B complex and C is extracted from natural sources. Having said that, even though the formula is the same, vitamin C from natural resources have a longer lifespan in the body. Okay, so when this sort of a thing, details cropped up, I was quite impressed. And I thought maybe I should be part of this.
Okay, so not only were you like, should you go along with it, you really wanted to be a part of it. But there's scientists. I know you were like, but you weren't the scientist, you were the medical doctor. And I know you said you were maybe wondering whether or not you were going to be a fit for that, but yeah.
That's right. I got in for two reasons into the committee because I have clinical experience seeing patients, and I come from the part of the world where we have three different races. The native Malays, East Asians who had migrated during the British time, and South Asians. My parents are originally from South India. So for 40 years, diagnosing, treating patients from three different races taught me a lot. There are a lot of variations even in the disease pattern. And the company said, this is the kind of background that we need along with the scientists. And of course, being from Southeast Asia, probably you could give us a better idea of what is needed in that area. I said, yeah, that sounds good, though I'm not a scientist. And I do get lost with some of the science that they talk about, very detailed. But then they're kind enough to explain it to me.
But then you have, not only have you got the clinical background, you've worked with patients and you have studied all of the nutritional aspects, and you had the experience of working with other direct sales companies. So you
That's
have,
right.
yeah. And for many years, I mean, you were saying 1990, that's a lot of years, Dr. Abraham.
Yeah, true.
Okay, so let's talk about, so what do you see for the future of Zinzino? Because this is a company that has a different stability. This is a company that has products that, I mean, you know what nutrition can do for your daughter. I know what nutrition did for my son. And so how do you see Zinzino in the future?
I'm encouraged by the fact that, you see, when you try to put a product together, you look at the research that has been done on the ingredients. And then when you put them together, you have a combination. It may work as well, not as well, or even better than the sum of its parts. And because of this, the company, when they put something together, they do quietly, they do a test or try it out on some people to see whether it does come out with what it promises. And I know there's one or two products that we had to drop off because it didn't come out that well. It didn't work out that well. Now, that kind of honesty and double checking is very rare in the nutritional industry. Mind you, nutritional industry is not regulated very well. They do not come under FDA. I'm sure you're aware of this. However, companies from Europe come under a little stricter body, I think, the EFSA, and they can give you a very devastating statement saying, oh, this doesn't work, or this is dangerous, or, you know, so on.
Okay, so you can really see how honest the Zinzino company is, our corporate office. We're so proud of what Zinzino does, our company. We're very proud of this profession. We're very proud of our products. And I know we can't talk about the things that are coming, but I know you said you're actually looking forward to some of the things that you're working on that you can't. I know I dig in a little bit. We'd love to hear more about what we're working on.
Now, after the COVID, the scientific community or the nutritional scientific community realizes that the health of your gut is very important. What we call the microbiome of the gut. Just one point before I move on. There is a huge nerve that comes from the brain and supplies all the organs in the abdomen, most of the digestive system. Very large nerve called vagus nerve. Now, everybody thought for a long time, basically it tells the digestive system how it works. So sensations come down and the intestines and organs, liver, pancreas, and also work. Now they find that the sensations coming from the brain and the sensations going from the gut to the brain, which they thought didn't amount to much, the traffic is actually 80% towards the brain and 20% from the brain to the gut. In fact, the feedback simply means that the feedback is much more than the signal going down to the gut. So it has become a very big topic now, and a lot of companies are focusing on improving the gut health. So there have been prebiotics, probiotics, postbiotics, all kinds of stuff. Does it work? Now, Zinzino is actually focusing on tests to check whether the product that you're taking for your gut works. Now, that's not an easy thing. The only other test we had before this was if you had a good bowel movement, the products work. Other than that, we don't know what was going on. But here they are looking at a number of tests.
And I know they are working hard on coming up with, and actually because they want to be the leader in test-based nutrition. We want to be the leader in and testing, because that way people don't have to guess. They can test, and we can prove to people that this really works.
Very true. And we have a very advanced lab that will be supporting us, independent lab. And Thomas, who's the CEO of the lab, himself is a scientist. And it's great that it's located in a science park where there are other research companies. In fact, many of the ratios that we have worked out for the balance oil test depends on the research that this other institutions do. That is why we do not just compare omega-3 to omega-6. You know, each is a family of 4. We compare the most important one here in omega-3 with the most important element or ingredient in omega-6. So it's more accurate than what you get in the regular labs where they measure the whole thing.
Now, that's a big thing when you're having a doctor, a medical doctor, tell us how important all this is.
Yeah.
So I mean, coming in with that medical background and really getting excited about the nutritional aspect, which is actually, I mean, I did actually pre-med. I was a pre-med student, finished my pre-med. And one of the reasons I did that was because you want to make a difference. You don't get into, you know, being a doctor, you don't really want to make a difference. So is this something that you're excited about in the future in regards to the difference it's going to make in health? I mean, I know for me, it makes a difference. I want so many people to feel a change like it did for my son. You saw what nutrition could do for your daughter. What Zinzino is really doing and working together. What do you see?
Here I need to step back and talk about the direct marketing method. Now, about 35 years ago, when I got interested in nutrition, the first people who are available to me are the patients. And I talked to almost every other patient who I saw. And in my country at that time, there were very few doctors, and I used to see something like 50 to 60 people a day. I realized that talking to them, not many people were interested in nutrition. look, doctor, yeah, thank you for spending time with me, but I'm very busy. Can you give me a medication where I can get over the symptoms quickly and I need to get back to work? Okay. I thought, oh, this is terrible.
And I
Reception
think
was really bad.
it's even worse in the US. You've even got people when they have an antibiotic, they don't want a 10-day cure. They want the 3-day cure because they go.
And they've got antibiotics now. The pharma companies have developed 3 days is fine. Just take that and you'll be okay. Now, then somebody invited me to give a training session for a direct selling company, a local one. So I gave a training and they said, can you come on board on a regular basis? And the first time I met direct selling people, I thought they were out of their minds. We are used to seeing, I'm used to seeing people who are sick all the time. And here were people who are not normal. They were above normal. They are laughing, cheering all the time. I said, what's wrong with these guys? It took me a while to settle down. Then I realized I needed that balance, one, for myself. Second, if this number of people are going out to talk about nutrition, things will change. And you know what? It's 35 years now. Over the last 10 years, the popularity of nutritional products in Malaysia and Singapore has grown tremendously.
So everybody is now looking. I think too, so many people are looking at other options. They're not always looking. I mean, I think a lot of Americans still look at, they want the quick fix.
That's right.
Nutrition isn't a quick fix. I mean, you saw, changes in your daughter within the week. I saw it within 2-3 weeks with my son. But people need to know that, they spent 10, 20, 30, 50 years getting their bodies out of balance. It's going to take our 120 days before you take your before and after test to really show that this is working for you.
That's right.
But with the direct sales model, yes, we're excited. Yes, we have a little bit of we have a little bit of power events. We're excited, but I think what we're excited about is the passion that we get to really make a difference. I say we're making, actually it's a Randy Gage thing he says of making a dent in the universe. I really believe Zinzino's going to make this dent in the universe and make a big change in world health. I mean, the world health is really going so far downhill in so many ways. And yet Zinzino has not just the antidote to what's going on, but we can prove it that what we're doing is working. And actually, when we're showing our test and we have so many people needing this, whatever they've been doing hasn't really been working. And I think that's what's excited about it. So, Dr. Abraham, with all of your expertise, do you have any last things that you want to say? I've been asking you all the questions. Do you have any last things you want to say before we end this call?
Okay. Zinzino is a very promising company. I've seen companies with 300 products on their protocol. We are not in that line. We are able to focus on products that build your basic health. I mean, there are many other nutritional products you need if you have a medical problem. That's fine. But to build basic health, we are on the right track. And the way our product is put together is to support the immune system more than anything else. And that is the way of the future. They are looking at many more pandemics that may come along, maybe not as big as COVID-19, but we definitely are going to face next to war, it would be a virus or some kind of a microorganism. Yes, quality of the products, thought that goes into it, and the way it's prepared. I'm really hopeful and excited.
So we can be rest assured that we are doing the best that we can to make sure that we have the best immune system to whatever is going to come in the future.
That's right.
I love that. Well, no, I so appreciate the time. It was so great just to get to know you too, with all of the background that you have and to see the passion that you also have for nutrition and making a difference. Well, we're excited about the things that are coming in the
Yeah.
future. And I think I'll just unmute people so that they can also tell you how grateful they are. Thank you so much, Dr. Abraham, for being here today.
You're most welcome. You're most welcome.
Thank you, Dr. Abraham.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so
We
much.
appreciate you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Abraham.
Thank you, brother.
Thank
Thank you.
you.
so much. Wonderful
you.
to finally meet you.
Oh, great.
Bye, everybody.
Okay, guys.
Great rest
Bye.
of your
Bye.
day. Thanks so much.
Bye.
Bye.
Right.
Bye-bye.